All right, guys, how's it going? Another day trading here in my small account and learning how to trade as I get started with trading. I've been trading since obviously March of 2024, and I'm slowly learning new things every single day, I can say. So if you'd like to, again, follow along with what I'm doing here, you can definitely do that. I'll be sharing new videos regularly, mostly every day, not every day all the time, but most days I do when I take trades and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Just a little bit about today. So if you've been following the last two videos previous to this one, I was talking a lot about penny stocks, and today I actually came in just thinking I was going to trade penny stocks again because that's just been the theme of the week, and I was well prepared to actually take a 5,000 share trade on a 20-cent stock and, go up 1 penny and make, well, I don't know what that would be, $50 or something like that. So I was well prepared to do something like that today because I figured that's what we're going to get today. And when I looked at the scans this morning, that's what I did see for the most part. And then all of a sudden, 7 o'clock came and things changed a little bit. So some other stocks did come in today that I didn't actually get to touch today. TOVX, we'll look at that one. Peggy I looked at, but that was only 17 cents for that stock. It really didn't make any moves. It was very thickly traded. Didn't want to touch that one. HKD was the stock I actually traded today. And it actually did fairly good. It wasn't like the perfect stock to trade, but at the time, this was like one of the ones that was moving. And I felt like, well, 28 million, this typically is a little bit high as far as the float goes. Now, if you're not sure what float is basically, it is the supply that is available, and a lower supply is better because that will help push the price up when more people are trading it, obviously. So that's what I'm looking for. And then it was only up like 28%, 30%. I can't remember right when at 7 o'clock this morning. So it wasn't like a huge gainer. It wasn't the top gainer. It wasn't probably the most obvious thing on the stock market today as far as gainers go, but it was in the top 4, so not bad. I think it actually was at 3 when I was trading it, so it was up a little bit higher than this. So overall, when I look at this, there was still this one right here, and TOVX, would have been a good one to possibly be on today. We'll look at that chart. And then EVGO, nope, too high. 107 million is just too high. Price is right. It's got its volume, but then let's see here. Let's go down to RZLV. This one, 172 million. I wouldn't have traded. WHLR, this was one of the top gainers this morning at 7 o'clock. Problem with this one was, it's $17, $18, and it's a little bit out of my price range as far as trading in a small account, because being at this end, I can only take, 75, 50 shares. It just ain't going to move the needle enough for me to really get into this particular trade. So, and then on top of that, it had a higher spread, I think like 10 or 15 cents, somewhere in there. And my problem with that is you might make a little bit of a gain. So I had the risk, when I was looking at risk, I guess, I was thinking to myself, I'm only going to take 50 shares. And then at the same time, I'm only going to be able to turn around and get, 10, 15, 20. And then if I have to bail out on the bid, I'm going to lose that. So the risk was just too much for me. So I was better off just waiting for something that was a little bit lower priced, and then go with that. So, and then the rest of the stocks, just momentum wasn't there, volume wasn't there. So we just, once you start getting 5 or 6, 7, 8 down the list, there's nobody has eyes on these particular stocks, and they're not looking at them anymore. They're looking at the top stocks, guys. So that's the ones that they're going to be paying attention to, and the ones that people are going to focus on. So when HKD came up this morning, I started to focus on that one. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into that particular trade. So what happened is at 7:03 or 7 o'clock rather, this thing started spiking up. It started spiking up and did this pullback right here. And I was looking for it to come through VWAP and then hold right here. And it did. It held, and then it went for 2 candles. So it consolidated for 2 candles. And then I was holding right at the end or the tail beginning of this candle. and then it consolidated. So I got in at a fairly good price, but it wasn't really moving yet. And it was kind of like, do I stay here? Do I bail on this? And I decided, you know what? We're not breaking below this red candle here, which would have been my max lot, or where I would have stopped out at. It obviously wasn't going low enough to do that. So, overall, I knew I could just hold that as long as we weren't going to go back below VWAP. And then it started to spike up and it got above the 200. And once it crossed the 200, it really started to go. So that's what I was really hoping that we were going to see, is this cross over the 200 moving average and then start making a bigger move. So I got in at, let's see here, 200 shares at 469, and I stopped out at 482. Now the thing was, I got out a bit early on this one. I should have hung in there a little bit longer, but it was a little bit volatile. Volume wise, the volume was there. No big red volume candle bars or anything like that. We don't want to see those in here. And honestly, the front side of this move is the cleanest part of the move. So and I didn't want to lose what I had, so it was kind of one of those things. But which ain't a good thing. I obviously have to get better at that. I have to focus on looking for exit indicators when I'm getting there. And this doji candle would have been the perfect exit indicator to get out on. And then we had a small little pullback, but look at this. The very next candle, look, the body of the candle is right at the top of this little red candle here. This, what would be kind of like a doji here. And that means that the market, the buyers are in control. The buyers are pushing this up. So guess what? The next candle, boom, another spike right up. So that would have been a nice dip right there to buy out too. But I can only take one trade a day. I'm restricting myself to one trade a day. So I held back from that. And then it consolidated a little bit more. And then it did another push over 5. So, which was good, and then I think it actually even pushed up even higher to 546, close to 550. Would have been probably the most logical spot for it to come against more resistance up in this area. Then we get into the 8 o'clock range, and it does this crazy stuff in Webull. I don't know why it does this. There's a reason it does this. I know I've heard it explained to me one time, and I'm not sure why it does, but I just usually ignore this. When I see this, I just ignore it. But then we get into the open on this stock. Let's go ahead, and it did push higher. But you know what? I wasn't going to trade none of that. I wanted to get the first move. And you know why? I personally trade at 7 in the morning. That's why I like to trade at 7 in the morning, specifically because that is where I'm going to see the front side of the move. And that's where I'm going to get the best possible move to make that one trade for me today. So overall today, $26 gain for today, which was a nice little move, 13 cents a share. So anytime I can get over 10 cents a share, that is a great day for me personally. I like to, honestly, I want to get more than that, but 10 cents is kind of like my minimum I want to get on a specific trade per share. So, and the reason that is because, if you can get 10 cents regularly on a trade, think about it. All you got to do is bump up share size. Instead of trading 200 shares and you build up your account, you get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares on 10 cents of gain is $1,000, guys. So it doesn't have to be anything huge here. It doesn't have to be big numbers. That's what I keep telling myself as a beginner trader. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you just got to focus on what following the pattern, watching the level 2, watching your time and sales, and following the patterns, and looking at your indicators and making the best possible decisions that you can to get the best quality setup trades possible. So again, I'm only taking one trade per day, and that's been working very well for me. So if we look at my stats overall, so I've got 3 days in for the month already, and we got one more day left for the week. So overall, did pretty good. 26 today. That brings me to a total of $38.10 for the month, which is great. An average green trade of $12.70 with 3 trades and 3 days green. So that's awesome. 100% accuracy on my daily wins and my daily trades. So you can't complain with that. It's not going to be that way the whole month for sure, but I could expect at least one red day per week. So, and I would be okay with that, but as long as I'm trying to push that 60, 70% win percentage, I think we'll be good. So So there you go. There's the trades for today. So hope that you had some similar success today. Overall, if you'd like to follow along as well, you can check out my YouTube channel, Trading with Chris, and subscribe and hit the notifications. And I will see you in the next video.